last week we jumped ahead in time to see how the girls were getting on in Tourmaline, the huge, sprawling elven metropolis. Would anyone like to tell me what they remember from last week?
Well, I remember that some serpentines seem to have noted girls harvesting of some plants and are now in the process of laying traps.
So, on the subject of plants, I've been wussing out and just saying plants, and I've done a bit of reading through the thing. I suspect a lot of the local drug consumption is probably lion herb, and that's what they are mostly concerned about keeping control of. But I suspect Darnell may also be something which a girl in particular is interested in for its hallucinogenic properties.
And my impression from prior play is that lion herb is very much the meth of the game.
I thought of it more. Well, it says you get, if you have too much, you get giggly and silly. So.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. No, then it's not the one I was thinking of. There was some other one that makes you go kind of berserk.
I did have that written down as well as something like that. Red squill might be meth.
Yeah. I recall that we had some kind of build of different things happening. I mean, after all, it was clear that the doctor from the ship, the Easterling doctor, was making some sort of drug connection, and also that a serpentine who spotted girl at a catastrophic moment recognized her and ran off screaming.
Yep.
And so who knows just how many of those things have causal connections, but if they do, then a dedicated effort to capture girl for more purposes than just poaching could well be happening. So I remember those things coming together.
Yep.
So as far as Shining Star is concerned, I, of the three of us, had the least satisfying status roles, and basically gave up and just went and hung out at the Temple of Dana, and kept my head down, having not succeeded at spying much and not succeeded at music and anything else, or forging. So therefore, I have just been hanging out at the Temple of Dana and making myself useful. But in the course of making myself useful, as I was, Puck got in touch with me after all. Yes. Peacock has informed me that Puck has an assignment for me or something of the sort, which is probably bad news because I don't think they have much use for me or respect for me. So therefore,
I'm sure
it's
all will be revealed.
Yeah, I'm feeling very expendable at the moment. Also, Christabel came up with a solution for the whistle.
Oh yes, that's true.
I threw it away.
Right.
Solution.
Lying deep down in the ocean. I'm sure nothing bad can happen as a result of that.
I was going to say, when you throw something away into the dark and deep of the ocean in a fantasy setting, we all know that that's the end of it forever.
Right. And Girl had also had a successful divination vision where she was put in tune with Smith City, and it seems like things are not going well there for the Hill folk. That I got a sense that camps are being broken up, that Hill folk people are getting sent away, some of them forced into some type of military service.
Well, this is the Bleeding Hearts, which are themselves hill folk, but seem to be the kind of hardcore, I don't know, organizers. You're refugees now, so I guess you're in the army sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then I also recall that didn't Christabel have a vision as well about a white stag or something?
Yes.
Wait, did I have a...
Who was that? Who was the white stag?
I forced you to roll augury,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
And you got an uninformed vision of a white stag because you very good roll. But
okay. I just never expect augury to accomplish anything, so I.
But the artist got to draw a white stag.
Yeah.
So on the subject of visions, Girl did also have a great devotion roll seeking guidance from the universe, and I have wussed out and not actually followed up on that yet. So that is coming up in this session.
Excellent.
Because the only thing we haven't picked up from last session is the fun fact around Christabel's business venture, which we will come back to very shortly.
Well, Prairie Fire, or whatever his name is the
Spring Lightning.
Spring Lightning is what was there was a. I actually haven't got to this part in the editing yet, but there was a point where he actually turned out to be not such a nice guy, right?
Well, it's unclear whether he's running this whole thing as a drug front or not, I guess is what's going on.
He was also, what's the word? As I recall, somewhat dismissive of Christabel's attempts to find out gossip and news from Hillfolk Country in Smith City. But we will pick up on that in a moment. So, just to do a quick check-in with where people were, because we are following rapidly on from that, I think. When last we saw her, Christabel was at work, had been talking to a serpentine who'd come in to get her snake pampered.
So, I just realized I'm actually unclear. Are they actually like snake people or what?
Yes.
Okay.
So they are at least to some extent snaky. Probably don't have any hair, although the book seems ambivalent on that question. Instructions in the random character creation say, obviously, if you roll hair and you're a serpentine or a draconian, ignore that. Some of the character descriptions for serpentines, when they appear in some of the adventures and things like that, have hair. So I'm assuming they can have hair if you want.
Huh.
This one you saw was wearing a headscarf, so you couldn't tell.
Oh, okay.
Problem solved.
I assume they at least have forked tongues that they flick out occasionally.
That is almost certainly the case.
The mandatory snake person trait.
Yeah, it's a puberty rite, apparently. They say at puberty a serpentine's tongue is slit so that they can speak in the hissing tones of the adult serpentine.
Ew.
And they apparently also like scarring. They like to scar themselves to kind of indicate their ancestry, apparently.
And they are potentially quite into dancing and snaky wriggling around.
Okay.
When they're not also running all the organised crime everywhere in the world.
Right.
I should probably have made someone roll for some of that, but never mind. So yes, and as far as I know, Christabel was then still at Relaxer Cat, Animal Pampering Spa. Meanwhile, Girl, following her successful divination back to Smith City, had been talking to Shining Star about whether this was something they should share with Christabel. And you had, I believe, decided you were going to do that, and were heading back to town to go and talk first. When you were assailed by peacocks, because hell's what you do. So, I believe, Girl and Shining Star, you were still heading to go and talk to Christabel. Is that right?
Correct. When we were interrupted by the peacock, and so.
Excellent. So, we will cut to Christabel. I have somewhat arbitrarily decided it is the end of the month, and we will see how well Relaxer Cat has been doing as a business, because I've been in the book. So, because why not, I decided to use both aspects of the business rule.
Oh, wow.
So, somewhat arbitrarily, I've assigned a value to Relaxer Cat of about 500 bronze. which is
Okay.
which consists of the work you put in, the stock you may already have of treatments, the investment that's come from your delightful business partner, Spring Lightning, reputation, good name, advertising, all that sort of stuff. And if you make a business roll, we can determine over the last month, has the actual value that this represents increased? Are you getting a return on your investment? So you need to make a business versus awesome roll, I think it is, but I'll just check.
Business versus awesome.
Yeah, but no, it gets more complicated after that, so don't worry.
Okay.
It's not
In
impossible.
other words, find out how badly you do.
So what the sum that we have is the business's value will change by 50% minus a business versus awesome times 10%. So if you were to roll awesome, that would give you a value of 1, and the value of the business would go up by 50% less 10%.
Right.
Which is 40%.
All right. Well, let's see. Don't screw me, guys.
We'll do this.
That is a... Yeah, there we go. That's 6. That is a inferior result.
Excellent. So, inferior to awesome is 1, 2.
That's like 6
5,
columns.
6. 7 columns because you count both the column you start and the column you finish up.
So that means I lost 20%? Or how does it work?
So, yes, 7 times 10% is 70%. So the value has gone down by 20%.
Great.
Unfortunate. Maths tells me that is means it's worth 100 bronze less than it was before. Then the even worse news, which is that you have an investor, and he wants his cut every month.
Oh no!
Of 10% of the original value, or so 50 bronze, which can be paid out of the value of the business.
Okay.
So you're down to 350.
Well, yes. Except that I feel that since Christabel is also working and bringing in money, doing all the actual cat pampering, we will also use if you're working, you can earn money based on a roll of catastrophic versus skill, which I think in this instance is tame.
Yeah.
Time.
Okay.
Oh, so this one's the other way around. This is how
It's
well
going to
you
bring
do.
you some money in, probably.
Okay, so this is just my direct spending money type situation.
This is what you've brought in that you have sitting in the till, which you could also take out, or you could leave it to, well, we'll see how much you have.
Okay.
And how well Relaxacat is doing. So, this is going to be complicated as well.
So that's a good roll.
Okay, so the tame roll
It's
is
kind of the mirror of the other one.
So, good.
So clearly...
Oh, it gets more complicated. Also do business versus catastrophic.
Okie dokie. That's a passable roll.
So, a good roll versus catastrophic is a 7, and a passable is a 6. And you multiply those together and multiply them by 5. And then someone has to do some sums.
Clack, 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 clack.
I make that 210 bronze profit.
Sweet.
Which you can keep to yourself, put back into your business to replace the theoretical loss in value of the business, use to pay off your partner, whatever you'd like to do.
Okay, well,
who doesn't love ridiculous old school books?
Actually, you do end up in the black, though.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll take everyone out to lunch. How about that?
That seems like a thing you can do. So the value of the business is that going to stay at 350? Or are you putting some of it back into that?
I guess I'll put Wait, did you say? Let's see. I wrote one. Did you say 260 or 160? Did I get back?
You got back your income that you have from those rolls was 210 bronze.
210. I was assuming that I was going to put 50 back.
Okay. Yep.
To go to 50. 400 for the value of the business.
Okay. You can do that. And I keep the 160. That's all yours. You can.
That's your paycheck.
That's my paycheck.
I'm sure you can find something to do with that.